Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot Kay and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
Mi nombre es Elliot Kay y no canto porque no tengo hambre, pero aquí vengo yo pasando con los que y no sé qué eso que estoy diciendo. Say what? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts podcast. Say what? I was just singing a song to Elliot Kay. Say what? Say what?
What were you singing?
I tried to mix it up with an old...
So my name's Elliot Kay, and I don't have a man.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
No. The song used to say, Mi nombre es Culero Connor. So I tried to incorporate your name, replace your name, but, it didn't work. Your name didn't work in that song, so that's it. So
are you saying my name doesn't work?
No, it didn't work with that song. Or probably I didn't work as a singer of that song with your name in it.
It's a very sad moment in our podcasting career when you tell me my name doesn't work. It's heartbreaking, Jose. It's heartbreaking. I feel rejected. I feel dejected. I feel objected.
And ejected.
What?
Ejected.
Ejected?
Yeah.
Like, what am I, a cassette? Now you see, I told you, you're objectifying me. You know, I feel hurt. I feel very, very hurt by you right now. And I think I'm going to leave the podcast.
Well, please do. Take a little break, shake it off, and then come back. It will help whenever you're feeling rejected. That's one of the things you could do.
Are you sure about that? How do you know that?
Well, you could also see it turning around, turn it into a joke, not take it so seriously. Maybe it's another thing you could do, some kind of reframing. But hey, what do I know? Peter, where are you? I'm on Riverside, mate.
Welcome to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. Hello, everybody. So yes, all jokes aside, today is all about how to deal with rejection.
I love you.
How do you say rejection in Spanish? 1 second. Rejection.
Rejection.
Rejection. Hold on. Well, you can.
Whenever you want to make something Spanish, you just add on to it. Like, give me another word. Give me another word.
Song.
Soñón.
Well, song, canción. I'll give you, I don't know, food.
Fudión.
Rechazo. I found the rechazo.
See, I told you rejection. It's the same.
Rechazo. Okay, thanks.
It's exactly the same. Right. So today on the Public Speaking Expert Podcast, we're talking about how to deal with rejection, something you're going to have to do a lot of if you truly want to become a world-class speaker, if you want to hit the big stages, if you want to get paid lots of money, or even if you don't, but you just want to be a speaker, you're still going to have to deal with a lot of rejection. Now, Jose's a bit of a master at this because he's all of his life, pretty much, from everywhere he's gone, every opportunity he's ever had.
Oh,
but
I've been rejected.
I'm only joking, of course.
No, it's true. It is true. It is true. Yeah, it is true. I've been rejected.
No, I have as well.
I still get rejected. I know you do.
We all do, and it's interesting because I'll give you an example. I don't know why I made that sign. I think I was trying to be dramatic, but it didn't sound anything dramatic.
Yeah.
For example, last year,
don't do it again. Don't do it again. So there I am rejecting you. So what happened last year?
Are you rejecting me or the sound?
There we go. Nice. I see what you've done there.
I did
so that can be used next. So over to you, Elliot. Okay, tell us your story.
So last year I entered the and we really connected now because you yawned as soon as I spoke. I mean, we did an episode when you said I'm not going to repeat it. Anyway, last year I entered the Business Book Awards, right? With a book that I think is a very good book, of course, because I wrote it. And the feedback I got about the book was it was a very good written book, Speak, Influence, Sell, right? It's one of the books. It's all about public speaking. And I go very much in depth on structure and really how to use speaking to influence an audience to buy from you positively, of course. I got nowhere. And I remember sitting there watching the awards, waiting for my book, nothing. And inside of me was this little boy going, "What? Oh my God, how did I choose my book? It's all about who you know." And that went on inside me, right? Now, at that moment, I had two choices. I could either go, or I could suck it up, step up, come back bigger and stronger. This year, well, actually, sorry, that's 2 years ago. Last year, I released Stand Out as Speaker, Be More Giraffe, right? And this year, I entered I've got my timelines wrong. It was last year. And then this year, I entered the Business Book Awards again. What was different is one, I was completely detached from it. Like, oh, they're not going to take it seriously. Because it is a cool, funny book, right, Jose? Your name's in there. So that's enough to get me rejected. But besides the fact that, right, it's it's quotes and it's a design book, and so yeah, I put it into the short business book category because it is, you read it in 10 minutes, literally, even that quicker. And I was completely detached from the outcome, but a part of me was determined to, like, no, I'm giving this another go. And so I'm sitting there. I remember I just put my son to sleep, and it was the Business Book Awards unveiling. And I was kind of skipping through all the categories because I kind of half forgot they was on until I got this notification. And then I was like, How to Stand Out as Big and Be More Giraffe by Elliot Kay. I was like, oh my God, woo. And then I literally had to rewind and play it again because I wanted to make sure that I didn't mishear. So this year is shortlisted, right? Now, here's what I want to say about this, right? And we've been talking about this quite a bit here on Clubhouse. If you knew you couldn't get rejected, what actions would you take? And if you knew that you would always succeed, what steps would you take, right? And I think what happens a lot of time is people define a singular experience and allow that to define their whole experience. So they take a singular experience and that defines their whole journey, is what I actually wanted to say. So I could have gone after that business book, oh my God, I can't write. I'm terrible. I'm a shit writer. I'm not going to write anymore. Well, we know that's not true because there's 2 books coming out this year, right? When Jose pulls his finger out, we will be one, and then there'll be another one coming out. There's many things I could do. I'm dyslexic. I can't write. I can't spell. If I allowed all the times that's happened to affect my experience of wanting to express myself, I probably never would have written again. And I think what happens is people they put their whole identity into an outcome. And then when the outcome isn't what they wanted, there's a huge amount of rejection and a collapse of identity because I've put my whole identity into this one thing. And now my identity is being collapsed because someone or some people who don't know anything about me, I'm allowing them to define my experience. What do you think about that? You're very quiet. So it must mean I'm either making sense or you're not listening to me.
Yes, for a change, both. I was listening and you were making sense, which is good. So it's like a super combo. I love that. I mean, everything, Elliot. The questions you ask, whether you're being rejected or if you knew you were going to be rejected, and then if you knew you were going to succeed, you could or you couldn't. Or you couldn't be rejected. What action steps would you take? And if you knew you were going to be successful, what steps would you take? And then the element of not letting people to define you, and that opportunity to become aware that you are bringing in all of your identity into it, and then if it fails, it's going to bring the identity with that failure. I think those are key elements and a powerful way to think about all of this. Look, my version and my take, I think what you said is fantastic and I really like it. That's why I was quiet, just thinking about it. I've been rejected and we're rejected, all of our lives, but it's not then ourselves as the person, but the things we're doing. So I usually take it out of myself as that thing and then I explore it. And rejection is a super powerful thing if we use it to our advantage as well. If I bring it, of course, being rejected as I was growing up, and then traveling, the more you travel, and then you have the accent and you have different cultural backgrounds, and then people do tend to make fun of you. And all of those things, I felt rejected for a long time. And now the way I see it, I applied, for example, to speaking opportunities. I did sales before I did this. And even when I've been applying for jobs, I just submit, 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 submit. And then when I get rejected, most of the time I ask, what was the thing that you rejected this for? Or what could I have done differently? No, they don't tend to answer all the time, but when they do, that's the best feedback you can ever get. So then the following submissions I make are way more powerful and then more to the point of what they're looking for. So my acceptance rate increases. But again, the failure and the rejection is still super high. But I just count, every rejection in my mind is getting me closer to that acceptance, to that moment in which they take me in as a speaker, they give me the opportunity. And I also know that because of the way I am, not everyone is going to like me, and that's okay. It's difficult for me to admit it. I know, because I want to be liked, and that's okay, because and as we've said before, once they accept you, that is the right crowd for you, the right people, and you're gonna make that event incredible, and your performance and the take people are gonna walk away with is going to be fantastic. So it's worthwhile. I think it's just going back to that one opportunity. I haven't had like thousands of opportunities in my life, but every time I have just like the one, I just make the most of it. And I think I like to, and I'm just quickly going to share this and then I'll pass on the mic to Elliot. I think my life, for some reason, and haven't planned it this way, at least not consciously, I go in blocks of 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. And every 5 years, one thing, probably many little things have happened, but there's one thing that I recognize is happened, it's been important, and it's made a huge change to my life and to my success. So you sometimes, even when you're looking for opportunities, you don't need 10, you don't need 1,000, you just need the one. And then that ripple effect takes it from there. That's what I wanted to say. So rejection is a beautiful thing if we use it to our advantage. That's what I wanted to finish with.
Yeah. And I think it's very hard, isn't it? Because rejection is very ingrained in us as a very bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And, however getting the results you want, however we frame
Yeah.
it. And I
Yeah.
think it is how we choose to respond and how we choose to move forwards from that. And if I take your example of every 5 years, which will make you about 55, judging by your 5 years,
40.
45.
Why 55? What makes,
Because I
based
don't
on
know.
what?
I mean, based on your experience, your look. I don't know. It just works, Every 5 years, 55. It's a continuation of fives. What do you want from me?
That's it. I don't want
Stop
anything else. Thank
busting
you so
my
much.
my
55.
stop busting
My
my foot. Right. Um, now I've lost my thread of thought. Oh yeah, so again, we see it. For example, if you look at, I mean, I know it's a TV show, and if you look on kind of like the X Factors or the Apprentice, and they're like, I need this opportunity, I've got to win, or I've got to get this, and they put their whole identity, experience, culture, everything into that moment. So, and of course, if they won, great. It's like, but then again, what's the ceiling? Because they're only going to need something else to massively validate it, right? But then, of course, most people don't. There's only one winner in these things. So most of the people then have to deal with the aspect that they've been hugely rejected. Now, you can choose to fall apart. And sometimes you probably need to fall apart to put yourself back together. As long as the intention is to put yourself together, I don't think there's anything wrong with falling apart. But then it's how you respond, right? How do you come back? Come back bigger, come back stronger. Can you imagine if every footballer fell apart every time they missed a goal, right? They're well aware, obviously, like world class, pretty much the reason they get paid so much money is because they tend to put them away more than they don't when they get the opportunity. But generally speaking, a lot of us will have to skirt and sail down the river of rejection. And it's the ability to keep paddling through it. So again, let's say I wanted to go on the stage. I know, for example, on our Gig Getters service, where one of my teammates is applying for me to be on the stage with some bit like Steve Wozniak and people like that, right? And let's say I don't get it. I might not get it. Now I can either circle back and come back stronger and go, this is why you want me, you should book me. Or I can let go of it completely, go, okay, I don't want to speak there anyway. And I don't think the second one's particularly productive. I don't think it's particularly a good way. So the thing is to really understand that rejection never really goes away. All we're able to do is deal with it better, right? It's a bit like I run every week and I do a half marathon every month. And it never really gets easier. You just learn how to run better. You learn how to manage things better, right? And I think that's the same with rejection. Of course, we'd all love to get to this utopic moment where we are literally like everything's landing on our phone and it's all like coming and we open the door and there's people queuing up, sign here, sign here, sign here. The phone doesn't stop ringing. All these messages come on social media. All the checks are landing. Sure, let's do it. Let's get there. Woohoo. But even to get there, right? Even within that, there'll be rejection, right? So even when you're the top, the top five, let's say the top 5%, someone will lose out to somebody, right? They're cast, they've just cast a new Batman. Well, someone lost out that role. There was probably between 5 actors, then down to 3, then down to 2, and somebody did something that won them the role. Whatever it is, I don't know. We'll never know. But that other one that didn't get the role has to deal with the fact that they were rejected from the role. Now, if you're truly going to hit that top 5% crust, that real kind of like prolific, then you have to skate and you have to sail down the river of rejection a lot. And sometimes you have to get rejected big to come back big. Not all the time. You can get rejected small to come back big. I don't know if you remember this, Jose. I don't know if you're in the country, but years ago, there was this musician called Darius, and he was on like, I can't remember if it's Pop Idol or something. And they were like, sorry, Darius, you're not quite right. And he turned around and said, I will have a top 3 single in the next few years. I can't remember. That was his line. He told the judges, and they're like, right, good luck. And then a couple of years later, he came back and he was in the top 3. I'm not sure he went to number 1, but again, he had to choose how he chose, how he's going to come back from that moment. And what he wasn't willing to do is let the fact that he's rejected off this TV show define his whole career, define his whole journey as a musician. And I think it's the same. We cannot let rejection define us as speakers. You're listening to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. We release a new episode every Saturday and we recycle them every Wednesday. Now remember to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment on how much you like the podcast. Make sure you do it right now. And of course, if you leave us a comment and send us a picture on Instagram, the Public Speaking Expert Show, we will send you a copy of our book as a thank you. Now remember, you can book me and Jose, both of us, at the same time to come speak at your conference, your event, your team talk, your lunch and learn. So just reach out to us again through Instagram and shortly via email so we can come and support your event to make it even more fun, interesting, and insightful. Today's episode, Getters, where we let our thinkers do the talking, where we reach out, we find the gigs you want, where they want, for the fee you want, with no cut, no commission, and then we hand it over to you. So check out giggetters.com, information, a book, and call in with me or one of the team so we can help you find the gig you want, because we make speaking easy. There we go. So dealing with rejection, hombre. What you saying? What you saying?
People pay attention, because yes, the mind tends to generalize, and then we take that one event and blow it out of proportion. And we let it take over some other areas of our lives as well. And you know what? I learned years ago. I started, and I'm speaking years ago, at least 10, yeah, at least 10 years ago, I started trading in the
When you were
Forex market for a
45.
while. When I was 45, yes, thank you very much. So I started trading in the stock market. Okay, one of those things I really wanted to learn, And the biggest learning, and it was incredible, it was very difficult because just to trick the mind in that sense and change my thinking patterns around the fact. I hear Ariella in the background. There she
No, I
is.
think it's Elijah,
That's Elliot's daughter. Oh, it's Elijah. Okay.
my
Looking
son.
forward to meeting them. Okay, so as I was saying, and the hardest thing for me to understand was that the market, every time I look at the graphics and, the fluctuations and everything else, the buying and the selling, every minute was unique. Every time I looked at it was a very unique moment. And that for me was so difficult because I would always add things, in my mind. My mind would generalize things, would add things to it and assume and speculate about elements. And it was actually just a charge, just that very unique moment every time. We can't decide to take rejection in the same way as if you were trading on the stock market, or this was specifically Forex market for me. It's a very unique opportunity. It doesn't have to represent who you are after that moment. So you can take that very unique engagement with an audience or with a booker that says no to you, and that's it. What can you learn and move on? And next time you are going to apply, or next time you're speaking, think about it. It's a brand new moment with new people, with fresh minds in there. The only thing that can get in the way is just how you think about it. So you can treat it as a very unique, brand new moment, or as a combination and compilation of things that have happened in the past. I know it is tricky, but yet it is possible. So that would be my bit when it comes to dealing with rejection, to complement what Elliot has been saying. Remember that the mind is always generalizing, is distorting and deleting information. So use that to your advantage. If you want to delete some of the things that haven't worked for you and focus on the ones that do. Over to you, Elliot K.
No, I thought that was very, very good. So here's the thing, people. We share a ton of information here on the podcast. A ton, right? It's up to you to go and make this happen, right? It's up to you to go and implement. We share anything from, technical stuff to being a speaker, to mindset stuff to being a speaker. And of course, we interview people that enhance your journey to being speaking. It's up to you to go and apply. Now, part of applying means accepting rejection as part of this process, right? I can't tell you numerous emails, phone calls, outreach we've done and had nothing back, or had very little back, or had no. It's okay. You just take that on the chin. It suddenly doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a flop. And the more you can take away the emotional charge from rejection, the more you embrace it as part of the journey. And that's what I wanted to say. Any final words, Jose?
On that note, people, remember